Liverpool we there. Every game we there. From on field to everywhere. Premier League we say. Our Reds is the only way. For me, for you. We chat football, eh. We chat football, eh. Liverpool we there. Premier League we there.
Alright people, welcome to Sunday Morning Chill. Yeah, it's a show where we just have a chat about football. And today we're going to be talking about Liverpool, just look at the ins and outs of the transfer market that we just experienced. Like, for example, who left, who came in, where do we still need to strengthen, where Liverpool will finish the season, just those stuff, just to see where we are. And how many trophies do you expect Liverpool to win this season? Do you expect them to win 1, 2, 3, 4? If we can do a 4 this season. And what does not signing Mark Guehi means for the season so far? And will we be able to kind of get that going forward, where we pick him up in the January, or will we just wait until the summer and get him on a free? Remember, drop a comment as soon as you join the stream, and drop a comment and like the video. Subscribe if you're new. You know the routines. Let me just fix a few stuff here. I should just have this. Yeah, it's there. So yeah, just drop a comment when you join the stream. Just drop a comment. Yeah. So if we're looking at Liverpool ins this season, coming in this season, we brought in the likes of Eketike. We brought in the likes of Frimpong, Isak on deadline day, Miloš Kerkez, Giovanni Leone, Mamadashvili, Pesky, Florian Wirtz, Freddie Woodman, and Will Wright. A lot of them, it's like young players. A lot of them we might never see for the first team anytime soon. But outside of that, then we have the likes of defense-wise. I would say defense-wise, we are having a good squad. We're still missing another centre back, but if we can keep Joey good from here going into January, and in January we can think about maybe getting and going back in from Arguay in January to bring him in to get us over the line, then that's amazing. That's kind of where I think we need to be. We need to see if we can keep Joe Gomez and Konate fit. And just a fit Konate, but also a Konate that is not, that his head is in the right space. Because I think a lot of people are saying, well, Konate isn't in the right space at the moment, and there's so much mistakes and all that kind of stuff that's happening with Konate. But I'm just looking at it and thinking, well, Konate kind of start the seasons like how Konate normally start the seasons, to be fair. Normally every season Konate start like this. Last season was the same when he got dropped for oh god, I'm pulling a blank here, but he got dropped last season. Same start of the season, he got dropped last season, and after he got dropped, then the other kid that came in, he didn't live up to the expectation. He got pulled from the team as well. Konate got back in, and slowly Liverpool start building momentum. Liverpool start going forward, and Liverpool start winning games and the league up pretty early. So yes, that is one of those from that we're used to. We're used to for us starting a bit slow. We're used to that. That's nothing short. That's nothing crazy to say that we normally start slow, and then from starting slow, then we push on. So yes, we all do that at Liverpool for some reason. Even on the Klopp regime, it was the same. We normally start slower and then build up, build up, build up, and then push forward. So yeah, I am not too worried about for the defense line going this season. The midfield, the additions to the midfield, the additions of the likes of Verts in the midfield, that is gonna bring a lot of creativity, a lot of pressure off Salah. And I know people thinking like, yes, we're all saints, but if you look at the games so far this season, Salah has not hit the ground running like how Salah normally hits the ground running every single season, right? I know it's 3 games in and all that kind of stuff, but the pressure isn't there. Like if Salah performs, then Liverpool wins, and if Salah doesn't perform, Liverpool don't win. 3 games in, Salah hasn't performed to his best, and here we go, wrapping up wins. Wrapping up wins like, yeah, not the best. They don't look clean, they don't look flawless. Again, it's a new season. It's the players getting into the feel of the game. They're getting into it. So they're not ready starting to blow out teams yet, but it might happen. It will come. It will come. I think it might come this weekend as well. Hopefully we're not surprised by this weekend, but we're playing Burnley this weekend. And that might happen. We look to the attacking line and you see we bring in the light of Eketik, and we bring in the light of Isak, where I think Isak is going to be making his debut this weekend. I think that might be the case. He might be making his debut this weekend, and if that's so, then that's good. That's good business. But we have to try to get a lot of these players who are not in form, and start getting taken over. We see this could be a really massive season for Dominic Sabasai. I think he had a great season last season. A lot of people wasn't feeling him. Myself, I'm like, we need somebody more creative in the 10. The club went out, and the club is getting someone more creative in the 10. So with club getting someone more creative in the 10, I'm thinking the pressure is off Dominic to do what Dominic does, which is go out, push, try to get the winners, enjoy his game, and don't have to worry too much, and there's not too much stress where if Dom misplays a pass or Dom is playing the 10 and he's not as much creative as people expect. Yeah, I think that could be something that we can rectify going forward. But yeah, again, when you really look at it and you really think about it, we are stronger than last season. I believe Liverpool is stronger than last season, and while we are stronger than last season, other clubs have improved as well. We see the likes of Chelsea improve. We see the likes of Arsenal improve. City has improved. Manchester United has improved. Tottenham has improved. The league is going to become harder this season than last season, and that's fully expected because last season was 2 of the top 6 teams national had an off season last season, and we're not expecting that. So I don't think we're going to walk the league as much as we did last season. I don't think that might be the case because I think the opposition that we're coming up against is going to be a lot stronger this season than last season. So I expect a tougher game against Manchester United, even though it look worse than what they did last season. But I expect a tougher game against Manchester United. I expect a tougher game against Tottenham, even though they did give us a game last season as well. We blew them out the park, which was a pretty easy for us. But yes, I also expect a tougher game against Tottenham as well. So when you really look at it, it's like, where do we go now? What are we talking about? Where do we go? Yeah, so really think about it. We have to dig in, and we have to get all the players that we brought to this summer window, which is a lot. Hey Danaka, what's up, man? What's up, bro? How's it's been? We did a few of the Brighton um pregame, but you're looking. Your team needs a striker, man. Your team desperately need a striker because a lot of the games that you guys play, if you had a striker, you could have been on more points this season. I think you guys really need a striker. Yeah, but back to the Liverpool stuff. I don't think that Liverpool actually needs to gel real quickly. That's what I'm thinking. They really need to gel like really quickly because they don't, then it could be that we drop some points. And I really want to wrap this league up really quickly because then it will allow us to put more strength right across different competitions. And for the amount of money spent this season and more that might be coming in January because we still have more positions on the field that we need to address. I think it might be one of the best seasons to win a quad. Do it unprecedented this season. It all might not be possible. It might be a pipe dream that we're thinking about that we win the quad, but I'm definitely thinking that like we have the firepower to do it. And outside of England, to be fair, not many teams set up like full on defensive to like stop a team scoring. A lot of teams just believe that they can actually go back and forth with teams, and I think like with firepower to do it. So outside of the because that's the other thing. It's how we um, decide that in the prem how we're gonna break down a few low blocks. It's gonna run into a lot of low blocks in the prem and stuff. Okay. Oh, while I'm here, I just got a little buzz that it's saying that Liverpool is not going in for Maguire in the January window. Okay, it's like they're just gonna wait until the summer to get him on a free. But I'm thinking that they're saying that no. But I believe that if we have any injuries or anything like that, then we might just go back in for him in January. I think I just put it brief in that no because they're looking at it and being the way that Crystal Palace pulled the plug on the last minute of the deal, that they have no interest to go back in right now. But I believe that they might go back in once if we have any crisis in January. But we'll see. We'll see if we just write that one out and leave that for summer. That's an interesting one. So that means I might be looking to bring him in on free. Okay, so the other bits is the Carabao Cup. A lot of players that are fringe players are on the edge, need to perform in these competitions, need to get in and push in these competitions because again they need to show the manager that they deserve a place in the starting 11, that they're pushing all the starters in um, for, for a place in the Premier League squad. I believe the bench is a lot stronger this season than last season, so I do expect like the bench to be able to win out of these FA Cup games and the Carabao Cup games because we have like Mamadashvili as backup in goal. We have either the likes of Bradley or Frimpong that's going to be playing right back. Centre back pair if we decide to rest Konate and Van Dijk, we still have Konate or Van Dijk. We might not rest both of them, but even if we do, we still have Leon and we still have Joe Gomez that can come in. And at the left back position, we have Robertson still here. Simicast leaves the club. Robertson still here. So we have that as a defensive line, and I think that's a good enough defensive line if we're playing against any team in the lower half of the league or in the championship, that we should be able to get over the line with that line in what do you call it, in the League Cup or FA Cup. Midfield depth, looking at, we have Endo, we have the likes of Jones, and then we have who else doesn't start much? Not Grav, sorry. Sabasai, I know he started well, but Sabasai can be coming in. We still have the likes of Trey Neone. We still have the likes of Bicetic that is at the club that can come in. So we do have that in midfield. In attack, I think it's where a bunch of the guys that's gonna be like a little bit overplayed. But we have the likes of Eketike or Isaac. That's gonna be leading the line, depending who played the week before. We still have the likes of the Rio. Yes, not going to push for his last name because his last name kind of a little bit tricky time for me. So we have the likes of Rio, the likes of Chiesa. So we have a strong enough team, and this is just not the starters, like the guaranteed starters per se. These are more of the players that are coming off the bench. So we have that more guaranteed team that can get us through these cup competitions while we focus on the main competitions and not get knocked out. And then start bringing in the better players when they start coming up to the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, all that kind of stuff. And so I do believe that we have the squad capable of producing something unprecedented this season. Now, if we get knocked out of the League Cup and it's earlier than the quarters or the semi-finals this season, I will be disappointed. I will be very disappointed because for me personally, I know a lot of fans of the big club look down on the League Cups and the FA Cups, but for me personally, I want the League Cups. I want the FA Cups because, again, you can't do a treble without one of these trophies, right? The rivals look at you and be like, okay, but you can't do a treble if you don't win a Champions League, a Premier League, and the FA Cup. You can domestic treble, but a domestic treble meaning that you have to win this competition, so I'll be disappointed. The FA Cup, again, is the same. Depending on what our draw looks like, we still should be able to put out a very strong enough team that can go through these competitions. And again, the FA Cup, anything less than a set in the FA Cup, I would just look at that as a fail in the FA Cup as well, because I believe the team is strong enough to go through the rounds of the FA Cup. And then again, semis to the finals, it's the League Cup's 2 games over 2 legs, so we should be able to navigate that. The FA Cup, 1 game. Again, anything can happen on a one-off, depending on who you draw. So if it's the semi-finals and we're drawing like Arsenal, or we're drawing Manchester City or Chelsea or one of these clubs that are up there again challenging, then yes, I understand. But if we're drawing one of the teams that are in the lower down, in mid-table going down, we should go through. So this is the other thing. Champions League is one of them depending on who you draw. But again, with the money spent, with firepower that we have, with the team that we're putting together, semi-finals. That's where I'm looking at for the Champions League is semi-finals. And I'm not looking at who I draw to say, okay, then you draw this team or you draw that team, because I think we are one of the best teams in the competition. And to be in the best team in the competition, that's kind of where my expectation is. And if you're in the semis, you should make it the finals. So, yeah, anything beyond the semi-finals of the Champions League, again, I would call it a failure in the Champions League. And for the league, anything outside of winning it, a failure. That's it. If it's crazy injuries, if it's offensive injuries, again, that's on club. Because there's no way we should be going on a market like this with 2 injury-prone defenders and not push harder to get Mark Guay over the line. We should have put the money in from early for Mark Guay, not wait until deadline day. But we're trying to get a good deal. If we had gotten a lower deal, would I be upset about it? No. But again, that's just one of those. But yeah, it is crazy that that we're still, I think, a defender short, and it's not a defender short by body, it's a defender short by fitness. And I know a lot of people is like, okay, but you only need like 4 centers, actually it's 5, just in case one get injured. But I understand why the club is doing 4, because again, they brought through the kid in, and with Leone, they consider him as highly rated. So yeah, they're looking as for him as maybe the third, fourth choice centre back, and they want to add anybody in there to kind of block his pathway into the first team. So yeah, that's what our defense look like. So when it comes to like trophies, minimum two, minimum two trophies this season. We went out, we won the league last season. We strengthened not just in numbers but also in quality. Like we, if you look back last season, and you would say that okay, Mamadashvili replacing the likes of Kelleher. For me, I like Kelleher. I think Kelleher is a really a top goalkeeper, right? I think the move to Brentford is kind of a wrong move for him. Me personally, if I know he had to make the move, but I think Tottenham would have been maybe a better move for him. But hey, he's at Brentford. He might get the move from Brentford in like maybe a year or two, depending on how Brentford form turns around, because they don't look good so far this season. But again, it's a few games, might turn around, and they might start turning this through strengths, and he might get a move again. So for me personally, Kelleher, it's Madashvili. Is it a replace? Is it an upgrade? Yet to know, because Kelleher has delivered trophy for Liverpool in competition, and he has done it for seasons and seasons and seasons. So not sure yet if that's an upgrade. For me, I'm gonna say no, because he hasn't been proven yet. His track record, Mama, that's really is that he's highly rated, a little bit higher than Kelleher, but we'll see. Right back, Frimpong, Trent, I think it's a little bit of a downgrade right now, because the weapon that Trent gives us going forward, but I think Frimpong is better defensively than Trent, because he wants to, where Trent sometimes doesn't feel like he wants to defend. So I just feel like it's not for me an upgrade, because the trade offer for Trent give you going forward, Frimpong hasn't delivered that yet. So I would say it's a bit of a downer. Centre back, Leone and Kwanzaa. I think Kwanzaa in the last couple of months, the whole thing that was circulate going around him and kind of threw his game off. I think Kwanzaa is a very good defender, but I think that he realized that he might just need to a change of environment to get dark cloud that was over his head away and then come back. So I do believe that maybe in the future, Kwanzaa can come back, and Kwanzaa can be a top defender, because we do have a buyback in that contract. But Leone, haven't seen Leone play as yet, but from a lot of people who watch the La Liga, not La Liga, sorry, the Italian league, saying that he's a really good defender. So I'll just take their word for it. I haven't seen him play, so I don't know where to go from there. Kirkesh. Now, for me, Kirkesh is an upgrade on the left backs that we have. In the first three games, he's not showing it. He's moving like Moreno. Like when we got Alberto Moreno at Liverpool, that's what Kirkesh is looking like. He's looking like a Moreno regen right now, and not having it. But again, for me personally, once he settled, once he understands, once the team itself gets set and they start to point him where he needs to go, he will become better and not such a liability. And we see the Kirkesh that we see at Bournemouth. I think that player will come through eventually. But for right now, it's a tough one. But I still give it as an upgrade. I still give it as an upgrade on what I saw last season. The other position is it's in the midfield area, and you see the lights of Florian Wirtz coming in. Now, Florian Wirtz is an upgrade in the position itself. It hasn't shown it as yet, but it is an upgrade in the position itself. I wouldn't say an upgrade on some side, but I would say an upgrade in the position itself for creativity. Once the gelling start, I know he's gonna come good. But for right now, he is an upgrade on the creativity in that part of the field. We're looking at the likes of Eketike, and I would say Eketike is a massive, massive upgrade to the forward line. Massive. He reminds me of what Diego Jota was, RIP, when he first came into Liverpool, when he came in and said that, listen, I need to make a claim, I need to make a mark, I need to show that I belong to be in this team. And that's what I get from Hugo. Now, the thing is, he hit the ground running. What, two goals or 3 goals? 2 goals in 3 games, which is a great way to start your debut season at a new club for any striker. Then deadline day, Isak comes in, and Isak just elevates that forward line to the next level. Not comparing with Darwin, not comparing him with Jota, not comparing with anybody. It's just the position itself as the striker position that got elevated to a whole new level. So now we're seeing lights of Isak, we're seeing the likes of Eketike gonna be leading the line up front for us, and that will take these two players that we have in the team will take pressure off each one, because now Eketike doesn't believe that if he doesn't hit the ground running, which he did, that we won't be able to challenge for the league. And I think with the likes of Isak, no, we don't have to force to push Isak in the team right now. We can allow him to get his match fitness up and all that kind of stuff, because again, he was not fit for the most part of the season. Like, for most part, he was not training, so he won't be match fit as yet. I know he's a part of the Sweden camp. I know they called him up and everything, and everybody's like, but Isak needs to play. It's a World Cup year. Well, he hasn't played any game so far this season, and he still get called to Sweden. So that will also show that it's Sweden, it's Isak. The country knows that that's the best striker that they have, right? Yes, Arsenal have Gyökeres, but at the same time, it is Isak that's the best striker that they have in the country. So that goes beyond saying. Now, when all these new players gel, and I will emphasize when they gel, it is going to be peak, like genuine peak for the league, because at this moment, yes, Salah hasn't started out good. Salah is to having Trent behind him. Frimpong played half a game, to be fair. Bradley still coming back from injury. So, link up between the person who's playing right back and Salah isn't there as it, because he hasn't had the consistency of the player playing behind him. He hasn't. So because of that, he hasn't gelled with that person on the right as yet. When that happens, game over. Completely game over. The midfield itself, the likes of Grav, McAllister, and Wirtz only played one game so far this season together as a collective. The more they play, the more they train, the more they'll understand where each other needs to be, where each other needs to go, make the right runs, find the right passes, find each person in space. That will happen eventually. And then you'll find the likes of the strikers will start to link up really well. We see the likes of Eketike is doing the link up thing really well, and he's finding the back of the net. Now, as the season grows, I expect the team to get better. But the team getting better only means one thing. It means that Liverpool is going to be pushing on. It means that Liverpool is going to be able to, again, the lights off, starting blitz more and more team. You're going to see a lot of team getting blitzed this season from Liverpool, because once there's so much firepower and forward that once they start gel, it's game over. It's really game over once they start gel. and stuff like that. So yeah, it's gonna be a look going forward, I would think, for the club, and I am really here for it. That's why I'm saying it. Like a double is bare minimum season, and like as I said before too, in my video that I put out last year before ball was kicked when Arne Slot was announced, and I said it. I said if the club back Arne Slot, if they give Arne Slot the tools that he need, I think he could become the next Paisley. And let's see, this season is the season that he needs to make that marker down. He needs to put that marker down this season. For me personally, he needs to go out there and show that, listen, I can drive this great club to do great things. And one of the great things I think, for me personally, that he would have to push and get is that we have to do a double this season, minimum. And again, retain the Prem, something that we haven't. I mean, Jesus Christ, we won. If people want to talk, they said 2 in 30 something years, not 2 in 5, but 2 in 30 something years. So we haven't retained the Prem in the Premier League ever. Division 1 and stuff. We have done repeat. We have done 3 on the bound. We have done all that kind of stuff, but we haven't retained the Prem. So we need to retain the Prem this season. That's the first thing, and I think Arnie can do that. And once we retain the Prem this season, then we move forward. Then we push on. We try to win another competition. We try to add number 7 to the Champions League. We need number 7. We need to keep that going. So we need to add number 7 to the Champions League as well. And then we also need to get more League Cups. So therefore, yeah, we need a League Cup as well. We can do a treble. We can do a quad this season. I mean, again, it depends on how things fall. But I do believe we have to win the Prem, and we have to win another trophy with the Prem. We can't just win the Prem alone this season. Because, again, winning the Prem, would I be excited? Would I be happy? Yes. Winning the Prem alone, would I be happy? Yes, but I will look back at the season and be like, it is a disappointing season. For me, it would feel like the Arsenal Invincible season. Because I remember when Arsenal did the Invincible, and my thing was, didn't you give up one of those, maybe 2 or 3 of those games, if it meant that you add a FA Cup, a League Cup to it, or even a Champions League? So you wouldn't do an Invincible, you would do a Europe, you'd be a League and a Champions League double. At the time, a lot of Arsenal fans is like, nah, we do the Invincible because we're gonna win the Champions League in the next couple of seasons. Here we are, 20 years later, still hasn't delivered on the Champions League. So again, winning the league this season would be over the moon. Trust me, over the moon winning the league this season. But I need more trophies to go with it. I can just go within the league, and that's the only trophy we pick up this season. So, Champions League, would love to get number 7. Would love to get number 7 this season, because then I believe that Europe is really the strongest, but then Europe is one of those where at any moment somebody can turn on, and there you go, you're up. My thing with the game, with how we went up last season, is we could have scammed our way past PSG. We should have got beaten in France, came back to Anfield. We squandered a ton of chance at Anfield to put PSG out. And who knows? We could have gone on to win it from there. Who knows? But that happens. That's what happens with us against PSG last season, and I don't want to repeat that. I need for us to go out, put a marker down, win a Champions League as well. If it happens, great. Did that go with the league? Perfect. That's a double. No, by the time that comes around, that we're in maybe the semis, close to the finals, or somewhere around there, because where I expect Liverpool to be, I expect that we will have the first domestic cup wrapped up as well with the League Cup. So having the League Cup wrapped up, going into the league, pushing to win the Premier League, and pushing to do all of that, then we should be all good. Yo, Wagwan.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, nice
reach
place.
finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to go over the expectation for Liverpool this season. Like what you expect? What you expect for deliver this season? With the signings we're bringing in, with all of that, what you expect? Where you think Liverpool will be? Where you think them will win and jump out? Bad connection. But anyways, once Let gets back, then we can discuss that again with him to figure out where you think Liverpool will be. Your Wi-Fi have your man.
Right now.
Yeah. So yeah, back to the question. Where you think is an acceptable season for Liverpool? Might have to fix some Wi-Fi before, but yeah, yeah. But back to what I was saying. Like it's minimum two trophies. Need a couple of the big ones. If we can, if by the time we're in Champions League last stages, because that's where I expect Liverpool to be, we should have the League Cup wrapped up already. And having the League Cup wrapped up by that time, that should push on to becoming to go on to win a quad or go to win a treble. Because also I'm expecting Liverpool to go deep in the FA Cup as well. And who knows, if we continue in this pace, could have the league semi wrapped up early this season. So we maybe have the league semi wrapped up early this season and also have um what do you call it now? FA Cup games that we can put out a stronger team in the FA Cup and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll see how we go from there. You need to move close to your router man. Your signal will drop wicked. Yeah, then we just see how we go from there. But yeah, that's kind of where I expect us to be. I expect us to be somewhere in and around the last stages of competitions. And if you're in latter stages of competition, properly focused, proper pushing, then you should be able to get it over the line. And if we did a quad this season, that's massive. That would be massive if we do a quad this season. Sorry, let me just send off a quick message. Yeah, right. If you watch a video, just drop a comment because the stream your internet will move mad. It cut out every couple seconds. So if you're watching on YouTube, just drop a comment and then we can just discuss it from there. But yeah, yeah, and that's my expectations going in the season for Liverpool, and I think we can do it. I think we have the manager can do it because I rate Salah really highly, um, higher than Jurgen. No, because Jurgen was 2 games away from doing the quad. Like I think a lot of people forget that. Like we were just like literally 2 games away from doing the quad. A Champions League final, which Thibaut Courtois pull out one of the best goalkeeping performances I've ever seen in a Champions League final, and couple minutes we were ahead in the Prem on the last day until City won. So yeah, that's close we were. Jurgen brought it first to win the quad. So and I think Aristotle is a good manager, and this squad I think is almost as I would say almost as good, but um, Arne can keep the players fit coming up to the end of the season, where for the players are a little bit burnt out. For me personally, this squad isn't as balanced for me personally as that Jurgen Klopp squad, but I do believe that Arne can get us very close. And if we're very close, I think we also have the mentality of players, because a lot of these players that's in this squad was a part of that squad that almost won the quad. Right? It was almost done. Came the closest to winning a quad. And I believe that it can be done. Yes, it could be the last season. I don't think it could. I think it is going to be the last season for Mo Salah at Liverpool. I think after this season, Liverpool is going to move on from Mo Salah, and that money that we got from we're going to get from Mo Salah is going to go directly back into the team, and I think we're going to turn around and get a replacement for him at that point in time. So it might be the last hurrah for the likes of Mo Salah. A quad going out in your last hurrah, I think, is the best way to send off one of the modern day legend. The last legend that we had at club that pretty much carried the club throughout his whole career. Brendan Rodgers up his last couple of games. Man holding 6 at Stoke. Man holding last season, his last season, man is holding bench in Champions League at Real Madrid. Like, yeah. So that's where we at with the whole what do you call it now? The whole Liverpool thing. The whole where do I expect us to be this season? And that's it. I think we can do a quad. Would love 4, but the minimum is 2. But the 2, and one of them has to be the Premier League. We cannot go out and put the money and the money that we put in. We cannot go out and not getting multiple trophies, and one of them has to be the Premier League. The team is good enough, squad is good enough to get to the line in the Premier League. So we have to live with the Premier League, and whichever other one with that, I'll be happy. I'll be happy. I'll still be happy if I win the Prem, but I'll be disappointed that we didn't win more than one. So if we win more than one, then I know for a fact that, guess what? Happy is, because we did a double, and it's a big one. But if we win the Prem, we win the champs, and then we turn around and win one of the domestic trophies, win a treble, then we join the treble club. And even if it's a league cup, we join the treble club. I know the rival is gonna be like, yeah, it's not a real treble because it's a Prem, the champs, and a league cup. But hey, you won 3 trophies at treble, and it's a domestic. However you want to look at it, it's a domestic. So yeah. But I believe that we can go out and we can do a 4. That's my belief. But anyways, this is where I'm gonna end the show today. And again, big up to everybody who watched. I know I'm streaming on a weekend when there is no Prem, nothing like that's happening. But hey, Prem's back next weekend. And again, before I go, let me just throw up something here quickly. So if you look over here, yep, right over there, you'd see a QR code. If you scan that QR code will take you to our fantasy league. Fantasy league is going good. If you want to play fantasy, then you can play Prem Fantasy with us. It's actually going good right now. And stuff, yeah. You can join our fantasy league and stuff. Yeah, it's not a big league, but you can join it. No biggies. Premier League is coming up this weekend. where we have a ton of top games this weekend. We have, what are some of the big games? Arsenal playing Forest on Saturday morning. That's going to be an interesting one, because things are breaking down really quickly between Nuno and the first board with Edu. We have Brighton face Bournemouth. That's a game that I think I want to watch Saturday. Out of all the other games that's on Saturday, I actually want to watch the Brighton Bournemouth game, because that's gonna be interesting. Two teams that actually enjoy attacking is gonna be playing. We have Newcastle Wolves. That should be a Newcastle win. We have Crystal Palace Sunderland. That's gonna be a tight game as well, because we see how Glasner go from there, and Sunderland, I expect Sunderland to be still in and around the out of the relegation battle. So yeah, let's see how they work. Everton, St Villa, two teams that Everton actually started great this season. To be fair, they started really well, and Villa is looking like they're missing pieces of their team, because I don't think they did enough in the transfer market due to financial fair play. And then we have West Ham versus Tottenham. Let's see, London Derby on that one. That's going to be interesting. Brentford versus Chelsea, another London Derby. Let's see if the refs are helping Chelsea again, because everybody call out for everybody else, but nobody calls out for them. Then we have the 6 o'clock. Ooh, so during my Sunday morning chill show, we're gonna have Liverpool versus Burnley game that's gonna be on. That's gonna be an interesting one. And then the last game to round out the weekend is City versus United. Let's see what United shows up, and let's see what City turns up as well, because City has been up and down so far this season, and United is just doing United things. So we'll see how that works. But saying that, it's like United is ahead of City in the table somehow. So yeah, that's what's happening this weekend in the Prem. Again, the QR code up here. Just can join our fantasy team and play some football fantasy with us. Doesn't cost anything to play and stuff. But yeah. And on that note, this is where the stream ends. All right, and catch you on